Imagine a single notification that shatters the financial world as we know it. Your phone buzzes, the screen illuminates, and the headline is almost too unbelievable to process. The Iraqi Dinar and Vietnamese Dong are now live, freely traded, and officially recognized on the global forex market. This is the moment. The event that has been whispered about in hushed tones for years, analyzed in countless videos, and debated in endless online forums is no longer a prediction. It is our new reality, starting today. The worldwide currency reset is not coming, it has arrived. This is the definitive shift in the global economic order, a fundamental rewrite of the rules that have governed international finance for nearly 8 decades. For the average person, this might seem like distant, complex financial news, but I am here to tell you with absolute certainty that this is the single most important economic event of our lifetimes, and its shockwaves will touch every single one of us, from the billionaires in their skyscrapers to the everyday family budgeting for groceries. The old system, the one built on the Bretton Woods Agreement after World War II, was like a play where only a few actors were allowed to speak. The US dollar, the euro, the British pound, and a handful of others held the script, and the rest of the world's currencies were merely stagehands, their value dictated by the leads. But that stage is now collapsing. We have been living through the final acts of that play for years, watching as unsustainable national debts, artificial currency pegs, and geopolitical tensions stretch the very fabric of that system to its breaking point. The inclusion of the IQD and VND on the Forex is not a random event. It is the controlled demolition of that old stage, the first visible crack in a dam that is about to unleash a new era of global finance. Think about what this truly means. For a currency to be live on the Forex, it must be fully convertible. It must be trusted. It must have a value that is determined not by a government decree, but by the most ruthless and honest judge in existence, the open market. This means that the years of speculation about the intrinsic, hidden value of the Iraqi dinar, backed by one of the world's largest proven oil reserves and a nation rebuilding from the ground up, are now being put to the ultimate test. Similarly, the Vietnamese Dong, representing one of the fastest-growing, most dynamic manufacturing economies on the planet, is now being valued for its true economic potential, not just its previous controlled exchange rate. This is the moment of truth for these currencies, and by extension, for every person who has ever considered their potential. This is not a simple revaluation. It is a recalibration of global wealth distribution. The world's economic map is being redrawn in real time, and nations that were previously on the periphery are now stepping into the center. The term worldwide currency reset is often misunderstood. It does not mean that every currency will magically become equal. It signifies a massive repricing of assets and currencies to reflect the true economic output and potential of a nation in the 21st century, not the mid-20th. It is about correcting historical imbalances that have kept certain nations in a state of economic subservience. The live trading of the IQD and VND is the catalyst, the undeniable proof that this process is operational. The mechanisms behind this are immense and have been in the works for years, involving international monetary funds, global agreements, and a collective recognition that the old system was no longer tenable. The secrecy surrounding these final stages was necessary to prevent speculative attacks and global panic, but now the gates are open. The data is public. The charts are live. And this is just the beginning. The dominoes have started to fall, and what happens next will define the financial future for generations to come. This is the information you have been waiting for, the confirmation that changes everything. But understanding the what is only the first step. To truly grasp the monumental implications of this event, you need to understand the why and the how, the deep, structural forces that made this reset not just possible, but absolutely inevitable. Stay with me, because in the next part of this video, we will dive deep into the undeniable global triggers that forced this historic moment into existence. So, the question that naturally follows the initial shock is a simple one. Why now? What were the undeniable global triggers that made this worldwide currency reset not just a possibility, but an absolute necessity for the survival of the global economic system? The answer lies in a perfect storm of financial, geopolitical, and technological pressures that reached a critical mass, A point of no return where continuing with the old paradigm was simply no longer an option. Let's break down these triggers, not with speculation, but by looking at the cold, hard realities that have been building for years. The first and most overwhelming pressure has been the staggering, incomprehensible level of global debt. We are not talking about manageable debt. We are talking about a debt bubble that has expanded to such an extreme that it has detached from any semblance of economic reality. The world is drowning in over $300 trillion of debt, a figure so large that the human mind can barely conceptualize it. This debt is not just in the form of national treasuries printing money. It is corporate debt, consumer debt, and shadow banking debt, creating a house of cards built on a foundation of confidence that was rapidly eroding. The entire system was being propped up by a single, dangerous belief that central banks could forever keep interest rates near zero and continue to create new money out of thin air to service the old debts. This created a zombie economy where unproductive companies and over-leveraged governments were kept on life support, sucking capital and innovation from the real economy. The system became a Ponzi scheme on a global scale, requiring ever-increasing amounts of new debt just to pay the interest on the old debt. This was mathematically destined to collapse. The second major trigger was the accelerating de-dollarization movement. For decades, the US dollar's status as the world's sole reserve currency gave the United States an exorbitant privilege, allowing it to run massive deficits and export its inflation to the rest of the world. But this unilateral power bred resentment and, more importantly, strategic risk for other nations. Countries like China, Russia, India, and Saudi Arabia, along with the entire BRICS Plus alliance, began to openly challenge this dollar hegemony. We have seen this not in speeches, but in action: oil being traded in Chinese yuan, bilateral trade agreements completely bypassing the dollar, and the rapid development of alternative financial messaging systems to challenge the SWIFT network. This was not a minor trend. It was a fundamental realignment of global trade and finance. The world was slowly but surely moving away from a unipolar financial system towards a multipolar one. The old system, reliant on a single anchor currency, could not survive in this new multipolar world. It was like trying to force a square peg into a round hole. The structural integrity was gone. The third trigger was the sheer weight of economic injustice baked into the old system. Fixed exchange rates and dollar dependency kept developing nations in a perpetual state of economic subservience. Their vast natural resources and human capital were systematically undervalued, while their debts, often denominated in dollars, became increasingly crushing as the dollar strengthened. This created a vicious cycle of poverty and dependency, stifling growth and creating global instability. The worldwide currency reset is, at its core, a corrective measure for this historical imbalance. It is about allowing the true value of a nation's economy, its resources, its industrial capacity, its innovation, to be reflected in its currency's value. The Iraqi dinar, backed by colossal oil wealth, should not be artificially suppressed. The Vietnamese Dong, representing a booming manufacturing hub, should reflect that explosive growth. The reset is the market finally being allowed to tell the truth after decades of manipulation. Finally, the fourth trigger was technological. The rise of blockchain technology, digital assets, and central bank digital currencies, CBDCs, created a parallel financial universe that demonstrated the old, clunky, correspondent banking system was obsolete. It proved that value could be transferred instantly, transparently, and securely without the need for the old intermediaries. This technological disruption forced the hand of traditional financial institutions. They could either be left behind or adapt. The reset, in many ways, is the old system adapting, incorporating elements of this new transparency and efficiency to survive. These four triggers, the debt bubble, de-dollarization, economic injustice, and technological disruption, converged to create a single, inescapable conclusion: the system had to be rebooted. The live trading of the IQD and VND is the first visible output of that reboot sequence. But what does this mean for you personally? How does this macroeconomic shift translate into tangible, life-changing opportunities at the individual level? That is the final and most critical piece of this puzzle that we will uncover next. Now we arrive at the most critical question of all: the one that moves this story from the abstract world of global finance and directly onto your doorstep, into your bank account, and into the future of your family. What does the live trading of the Iraqi Dinar and Vietnamese Dong, and the broader worldwide currency reset, actually mean for you, the individual? This is where theory becomes life-changing opportunity, but it is also where clarity and caution are absolutely paramount. First, let's address the immediate implication, the potential for unprecedented wealth generation. For those holding these currencies, this moment represents the culmination of a long-held belief in their revaluation. The logic is powerful and straightforward. A currency that was artificially suppressed for decades, pegged to a value that did not reflect the nation's true economic strength, is now being set free to find its fair market value. For the Iraqi dinar, the backing is one of the world's largest oil reserves, a nation with immense agricultural potential, and a rebuilding infrastructure that represents a multi-trillion-dollar opportunity in itself. For the Vietnamese Dong, it is the engine of a manufacturing powerhouse, a young, dynamic population, and a strategic position in the new global supply chain. The potential exchange rate adjustment is not merely a few percentage points. We are talking about a fundamental repricing that could increase the value of these currencies by orders of magnitude against the dollar. This is the historic wealth transfer you have heard about. Not a government handout, but a market-based correction that rewards those who saw the underlying value when others saw only risk. However, and this is the most important message you will hear today, this opportunity is not a guarantee of easy money, and it is fraught with peril for the uninformed. The market is now open, and with that comes volatility. The value will not simply shoot up in a straight line. There will be fluctuations, pullbacks, and intense psychological warfare designed to shake out weak hands. The old guard, the institutions that benefited from the previous system, will not relinquish their control without a fight. You will see conflicting news reports, negative analyst opinions, and coordinated sell-offs designed to create fear and uncertainty. Your greatest asset in this environment will not be your currency holding alone. It will be your knowledge, your patience, and your emotional fortitude. You must understand that this is a process, not a single event. The live Forex listing is the starting pistol, not the finish line. The next phase involves navigating the redemption process, which will have specific protocols. You must have your documentation in perfect order. You must know the difference between the various tiers of exchange, from the commercial bank level to the international exchange platforms. You must be prepared for the tax implications and have a solid plan for wealth preservation and management. This is not about becoming rich. It is about becoming smart, responsible, and strategic with the new resources that may come into your possession. This reset is about more than just currency values. It is about a global shift towards asset-backed, transparent economies. Your newfound financial capability places a responsibility on your shoulders. This is a chance to break cycles, to fund generational wealth, to support ethical businesses, to invest in sustainable technologies, and to become a pillar of your community. The world is being offered a clean slate, and you have the potential to be an author of its next, more prosperous chapter. Do not squander this historic moment on short-term gratification. The information age is over. We are now entering the age of wisdom, where the ability to use information correctly is the ultimate currency. And this is where you and I must make a pact. If you have found this information valuable, if this deep dive has given you the clarity and confidence to navigate these uncharted waters, then you must take action right now. The first and most crucial step is to ensure you do not miss what comes next. The situation is evolving by the minute, and the most critical updates, the protocols, the security alerts, the strategic guidance will be shared right here on this channel. So, I need you to do 3 things for yourself immediately. First, smash that like button on this video. This tells the YouTube algorithm that this is life-changing content, pushing it to others who need this knowledge but are lost in a sea of misinformation. Second, and this is non-negotiable, subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. You will not want to wait for an algorithm to decide when to show you my next upload. You need to see it the second it goes live. The next video could contain the most urgent information of this entire process. And third, and this is perhaps the most powerful thing you can do, share this video. Share it on every platform you use. Share it with everyone you care about. Your family, your friends, your colleagues, they all deserve to understand what is happening. Do not let them be left in the dark, confused and fearful while the greatest financial shift in human history unfolds around them. Be the source of light and clarity for them. By sharing this, you are not just helping me, you are performing a vital service, activating a network of awakened individuals ready to build a better world. The time for passive observation is over. The reset has begun. Your future is now in your hands. Be smart, be strategic, and I will see you in the next video, which could be the most important one you will ever watch.